Good morning. How are you? Do not adjust your television sets. News from the 22, live on the scene. How are we doing today?
Fantastic.
First
My
of all,
background playing everything.
all right, this ain't working, man. I don't know. I was trying to be subtle like a teacher would be, boring, but
Yeah.
it just doesn't work for me. But anyway, news from the 22, live on the scene. Sunday. It's not night yet, but Sunday preview, views and views. We have a full cast today. We got Chef Maine. We got Scott Extraordinaire Vic Jr. We got, of course, you say he's present. So, don't, all my 5%ers, hi, assalamu alaikum. With everything being said, True Man, False World Report live. Hey, man, what's going on? Mr. President, what's going on, man? No time like the president, you know?
Man, like I said, you can look at the background and see how I'm feeling.
Oh, boy.
I'm
Sheesh.
with it.
Sheesh. This is going to be a rough one.
Hey, look, I come bringing gifts and offering on this fine Sunday, bro. I come in peace, bro. Like I always come in peace. Y'all be the ones gaslighting me. I'm gonna act like I'm gonna act like everybody else in this world not take accountability today. It's y'all fault. Y'all keep bringing these subjects that make me go crazy. It's your fault. Stop bringing up the subjects. There you
We
go.
just got to get your views. That's all it is. We want to get your views on it more than anything.
Y'all keep lining me up softballs and expecting me not to smack it 400 feet. That's what y'all keep doing to me. Like bad underhand, bro.
Hey, man. Again, sometimes we see things and it's like, what would MJ say about this? That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. What up, Vic?
Hey, not much, man. Been a busy weekend, a lovely weekend. Had a little bit of fun, and then a little bit of work at the same time. So enjoying this weekend, but ready for week 7 football. We're gonna have a light schedule. Many teams on bye this week, so adjust your fantasy lineups accordingly. I hope everybody's already prepared at this time. But other than that, man, just ready to talk about it.
Hey, guess what? I don't care about y'all fantasy lineups. Go ahead, Mo.
You ain't playing this year, that's why.
So you want me to just jump in right into the trade segments and everything?
You might as well. Go ahead. Let's do it. Let's have some fun.
Let's have some fun. So some interesting headlines. So we're going to read some of the trade rumors and just kind of go from there. All right. The first thing that I saw recently, the most recent thing that I saw rather, was that the Washington Commanders might be interested in trading Chase Young or Montez Sweat. Now, why you would want to trade Chase Young, I have no idea. I have no idea where those reports came from, but that's the report. The other interesting one, Vic, is that the Vikings are taking calls on Danielle Hunter. So let's take Chase Young out of the equation because I think you would be dumb to trade away Chase Young. If you're a team in need, can you think of a team that's pursuing the playoffs that could use that speed and that destruction on the edge? And if so, would you rather add Danielle Hunter or would you rather add Montez Sweat?
I mean, great question, bro. Because first and foremost, like, what are the 3 things we talk about when it comes to winning football, right? Quarterback play, protecting that quarterback, and the people that can bring down the quarterback. Mm-hmm. And those pass rushers you named right now, I mean, it's interesting that there would be even discussions that they're on the block. But if it is, then, it's going to be fun to see if any of those guys are moved. But Daniel, if I'm the Buffalo Bills, I'm looking into Danielle Hunter. Ed Oliver, somebody that I like coming out of Louisville a couple years back, has been phenomenal for them. To add another pass rusher for them, like they did with
Houston. I
mean, I'm sorry, Houston. Yes, the damn red red
Yeah, I got a little
uniforms.
confused. I thought you were talking about a different Ed Oliver for a second, but yes.
No, Ed Oliver. Yeah. No, he fantastic defensive tackle. So to kind of team him up with an edge rusher would be fun for the Bills. I mean, so again, if there's a pass rusher available, I would think that the Bills are going to be doing their homework on that. Because Daniel Hunter, I mean, I could see why the Vikings want to move an older pass rush, per se. He's kind of, I think he should be around his 30s already. So they can get some pieces for that. But if you got a Montez Sweat and you got a Chase Young, 24, 25 years old, I mean, why would you move that right now? Like, you know what I mean? So that's kind of interesting. If those are the rumors coming out of DC. But I like the Buffalo Bills to kind of get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think if Buffalo adds him, that would, like you said, just to add him to an already impressive group that just got Von Miller back, a team that I think down the stretch, if we're going to talk about Buffalo, I don't think Buffalo will win the big one, as they say, by relying on Josh Allen. It's just not going to happen. And that's not even a knock on Josh Allen. That's just more to say, you got to decrease the usage and dependability.
Workload on him.
Yeah. One way to do that is if your defense can go out there and just start wrecking game plans, and it allows you to be in. I mean, they're making, I guess, a more concerted effort to run the football, but I still don't have the faith that they'll do it as the season gets longer and longer.
No, the effort is there in terms of the reps going to the running backs. Whether it's quality reps right now is still to be determined.
Sure.
I think Kansas City should take a shot at it.
Not a bad one at all. Not a bad one at all.
Just imagine you got Chandler Jones on one side and Chase Young on the other.
There's no way they're going to trade Chase Young, though, man. Like, why would you trade Chase Young?
Because that's what bad and mid football teams do.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's to go get a quarterback, that's the only thing I would expect them to do. But at that point, you're asking for a contender is only one going to go after Chase Young, and a contender is not going to be in a position to get you a quarterback. So unless you just want to get rid of Chase Young to collect draft capital,
that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, they get capital, and also, we don't know what's going on in that locker room. Chase Young is a guy that strikes me as someone who is extremely competitive and is passionate. And this is a trust the process situation that he's in. So I'm pretty sure he's voiced his opinion very strongly about how he feels about the organization. And it's probably come to a helm in which they can't do anything more than just try to get the most out of him. But they're smartly keeping it under wraps and making it seem like it is a bargain so that when people find out or leak that it is something going on, I'm like, oh, we'll offer you a fourth round where he could get a second round right now before anything comes out. Just my thought.
Vic, anything you want to add to that before we kick the germ?
No, I mean, it would be draft capital that they would ask for. You know what I mean? You can't just grab a quarterback out of anybody's team right now. It would be definitely to stockpile some picks and probably just kind of move on from that. Get some value off of them right now,
Jeremy, you want me to ask you a different question, or you want to add to this question first?
Let me add to this question.
Go ahead.
I look at the entire AFC North, and I say every team could use another pass rusher.
That's interesting.
Whether it be for now or for long-term purposes. We look at where Cincinnati is. Cincinnati has Hendrickson that they just paid. That was a free agent who's technically shouldn't be a lefty. He shouldn't be a left defensive end. He should be more of a right guy on the run side. So if you compare him with a guy like Chase Young and get your natural edge rusher, Hubbard becomes a guy that you can move around and do some things with. That improves the pass rush significantly and improves their front seven. Baltimore needs a seasoned edge rusher, and that would help them out tremendously for what they already have. They already do a hell of a job stopping the run. They already got Clowney. They already got a lot of young guys. You put another young stud in there, and then the combination just would be great. Pittsburgh, I'm sorry, but you can never have enough edge rushers, and both Chase and Daniil both can stand up. So we're not talking about a situation where they would hurt them. It actually just gives you more versatility in some of your third down defenses and things that you can do, considering that they do a lot of things with three and 4-man fronts. So a 3 and 4-man front, when Big Cam comes back with another pass rusher there next to Big Cam, especially if it's Daniil, who I think fits more for what Pittsburgh will want to do, especially with them already having TJ, I think that's a hell of a compliment. And of course, last, my Super Bowl pick, Cleveland. Za'Darius won't be there after this year, probably 9 out of 10 times, unless he takes a pay cut or something of that nature. If you get a chance to get Daniil Hunter next to Myles Garrett, and that you can have them for the next 2 to 3 years, that solves a pass rush issue for the next 2 to 3 years, and it extends that championship window 2 to 3 years. Because at least you have a complementary piece there that you can have under contract. And it gives you a little bit more flexibility with some things you can also do. Again, with the third down defense, you're already the number one defense in the league by far. So, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. It's all just a game, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. All right, Jeremy, we're gonna keep it with you. Another rumor. Obviously, we know about the debacle that is the Denver Broncos, and there seems to be a growing belief that they're just gonna restart. They're gonna sell everybody, in my Kelly Lyons voice, and start over. And I think, just looking at it, I got to verify this, but I remember reading Russ's contract and thinking to myself, "Oh, they can cut him after this year," which I'm pretty sure they can. And I don't think
this year or next year.
I don't think Russ has necessarily a trade market, but somebody, if they do want to trade him, not mid-season, they're not going to trade him mid-season. But nonetheless, the rumors are that, or the expectation is that the Broncos are going to move on from one of their wide receivers, be it Jerry Jeudy or be it Cortland Sutton. So this is a two-part question. One, we're going to start with you, Jerm. If you're Denver, which one would you rather trade? And two, are you trading to immediately improve your defense, or are you trading to long-term improve your future? Which, I mean, you could obviously, if you get the right defensive player, immediately improve your defense. But you get the question, like, are you going for a draft, or are you trying to get an immediate impact player on a defense that's really, really underperformed?
Okay. So I'm going to ask you the question one way, and then I'm going to give you the right answer, right?
Okay.
The whole team is underperformed.
True.
So from the head coach, from the general manager, from the owner, everybody, it's the debacle of the Denver Broncos has started from the bottom. Now we're here. Yeah, that's a bar. So why we need to understand why that makes sense in this situation, and why I'm saying that is because Denver needs to have a fire sale, and they need to do something like they need to take a couple of they need to find 5 players, maybe 5 or 6, and I need to say these are our core pieces, and this is what we're going to build around the next 2 to 3 years. And they need to take everybody else, and they need to get rid of them. I'm going to also throw this out there as well, Mo. The tackle is approaching 30. You're probably going to get 3 more good years out of him. That's a second round grade that you can probably get of a draft pick for that. For a left, there's a lot of teams that can use a left tackle right now, or help on the offensive line. Jerry Jeudy is your most attractive one because of name and face value. But the one that's probably going to help people more long term is going to be Cortland Sutton. Why? Because he's a better red zone target right now, and right now he's playing better football right now. We don't know where Jerry Jeudy, what planet he's on, but he's not on the football planet right now, and he's not playing very good football. So to be honest with you, to answer the second part of your question, you go through the draft. Because number one, what free agents are going to want to come to Denver, seeing what has happened with the recent track record of free agents in Denver. You brought a quarterback. Quarterback has been terrible. You brought Sean Payton, which you traded draft capital for.
True.
Been awful.
So
Like,
true.
You every time in sports that draft capital has been traded for a coach, a team has underperformed in some part of this deal. It happened in Boston in basketball, not Boston, but in Brooklyn in basketball, didn't it, MJ?
It was the Clippers. They traded for Doc Rivers to Clippers.
So, but you see, like that whole situation, it didn't
Yeah.
materialize the way that they wanted it to.
No.
It failed some type of way.
Well, the thing about it is, like, both franchises that we're talking about, the common denominator is you just need to throw all of those franchises away. Like, Denver needs a whole makeover. They changed the colors, changed the jersey, changed the logo, like, changed everything. Like, Bears too. Like, anybody blue and orange, just change your colors. It's just not working, bro. Like, it's more colors out there. Like, adding different colors, like, revamp. The White Sox did it in the 90s. They had that horrible navy blue and red debacle, and they changed it to black and white, got a little bit more gangster about it, and eventually they won a World Series. So change your color, change everything. Like, there's nothing good about this franchise right now. And you just need to just start over. Like, but the thing is, people think starting over is changing a player. The jersey still reek of that mid. The logo still reeks of that mid. Like, you just need a whole makeover. Like, even the Devil Rays did it. Like, Devil Rays been hot ever since they dropped the devil and changed everything. Sometimes you just need a complete just Wile E. Coyote, Acme TNT, push the thing down and just blow shit up. Like, you just need that sometimes, bro. We sick of it. I'm sorry. I'm tired of seeing it.
But what MJ just said is kind of what I think they need to do to the entire roster. I think you got to start somewhere, and I think what he just said, Wile E. Coyote, just Acme, go ahead, tick tick tick, boom. At this point, everybody needs to be separated. Like,
respect to
at this
Keyline.
point, Views,
Bro. I'm
listen,
here.
Views,
I'm here for you,
the
Keyline.
View,
I know you bought a lot of paraphernalia, memorabilia. Just keep the throwback stuff, and it's okay, bro. Like, tradition sometimes can end. It's time. They ain't won in this century yet. Neither did the Bears. It's the blue and orange. I'm blaming the blue and orange. Nobody this century has won with blue and orange.
So,
Yeah, real quick, Mo. What's crazy to what MJ just said, because he shouted out the Rays. I was like, wasn't there a hockey team that did the same thing? And apparently there was 5 over the last century. But the most recent one was it used to be the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. They changed their name to the Anaheim Ducks and then won a Stanley Cup. And
it happens. It happens.
The year right after they changed their name.
It happens.
Funny.
So, Vic, you want to touch on this real quick, because I got another place I want to take it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's interesting that Jerm picked Jerry Jeudy as the one to throw out there, and trade. Just from a scouting perspective, like, the kid is an outstanding route runner, but I mean, it's true what Jerm said. He's just not. There's something that's off, and it could be the aura of Russell Wilson there, but that could be a whole different other subject. I mean, that would take a lot of film study to watch, but I guess I can see some receivers being moved as opposed to pass rushers. Again, it's harder to replace. It's a little bit easier to replace a receiver than it is to replace some good pass rush talent. So Denver definitely needs to add some more draft capital.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. MJ, you want to touch on this at all, or should I keep going?
You keep going. I've said what I need to say.
So, somebody mentioned the Chiefs about adding a defensive player.
Yes.
One thing that's interesting to me. So 3 of the quote unquote top receivers that are being thrown around right now, from what I've read, I haven't had time to read everything, but they're all in the AFC West. right? So that takes KC out of the equation as a trade partner. However, there is one receiver who's being thrown out there that I think would be a very valuable addition. I wanted to make sure I use the right word there. Valuable addition to the Kansas City Chiefs. And that would be Hollywood Brown. He's in Arizona. They're obviously underutilizing him. There's no stability whatsoever over there. He's a name that's being thrown out there. And I think if you're Kansas City, if you can give him a 3rd round pick, I pull the plug. I just pull the trigger and go get him. Add another vertical threat. Add that vertical threat that not that you've been missing, but that you know you could add to your offense because you got the quarterback who can get it to him. And Pat, you know you can bring in this type of receiver mid-season, and he's going to work with him to get the timing down, to get everything down, and make sure that he can be productive for this offense. 2 other teams that are apparently selling, and then we'll move on to the games, are the Ravens and buying, are the Ravens and the Eagles. Not sure what the Ravens might be targeting. But the rumor is the Eagles are targeting safety. And obviously, naturally, everybody goes, well, Bill Belichick is selling, and Bill's got like 5 safeties on the roster. So just something to keep an eye on from that end. But before we move on, anything else you want to add, fellas, to this trade circulation?
Anybody else got anything?
I'm gonna let you cook, bro.
I know Devontae Adams was thrown out there, but then they took his name off.
Yeah, Hunter Renfrow is the name being thrown around now, not Devontae.
Anyway,
Next.
I don't know if anybody else has heard this rumor, but word on the street is Patrick Surtain II is a very, very high on the value chart of where the Eagles would like to go as well.
Really?
That is one that's come out the last couple of days. That Surtain is somebody that they may entertain a trade for. I'm gonna be honest with you. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like as good as some of these players play, it's still the fact that I understand you can never win the first, but sometimes it's a certain thing called overdoing it, right? Philly, you weren't a cornerback away last year from winning the Super Bowl.
It's true. That was not what it was.
I mean, so you going to get another corner means what exactly? Like, and I say that to say that because as good as Philly's been this year, I still feel like it's something missing in the gumbo. Gumbo's it's got the hardiness that we want, you know. That's the beef. Quarterback is got the right season and the right spice. You know, Hurts. Everything is there. You know, the plating and everything like that is set up nice. Table is set. We got nice utensils. That's the defense. What's missing? Could it be the nice beverage that seals the deal? Maybe another edge rusher? Could it be maybe a bigger, more physical running back instead of having all of these smaller running backs? What could it be?
So
that's the hardest part about the trade deadline, ladies and gentlemen. It's because if you're not in that tier where you're a player or two away, you can only be setting up for next year or the year after or the year after.
I do think the Eagles are a player away. And that player has to have a very specific role and skill set. Because to me, the Eagles, the middle of their defense is one of the weakest in the NFL. Which is why I felt Detroit. Did they play them already?
No.
Like, keep an eye on Detroit if they play them. Like, Detroit's going to be it's going to be a tough matchup for Philly. Certain teams are going to be a very tough matchup for Philly. And the reason Howie, I mean, you got to give Howie credit. Howie's a smart GM. The reason he's targeting the safety is because he knows that if he gets a player not of the caliber of Minkah Fitzpatrick, but of the same skill set where he can either provide a cap for your defense or he can get in the middle and sort of seal some of those holes that you got in the middle of your defense. So you need somebody who, not to use another plumber term, but to clean up the shit in the middle of the defense, because there is a lot of open space in the middle of that defense. There's room for a lot of runs, as the last plumber bar. Good.
But and that's the thing though. The reason why the pipes are leaking is because we didn't take the right protocol for us to clog those pipes or to put the right PPE in those situations. I don't know if that's the right term, but the thing that I want to say the most here is this is what you drafted Nakobe Dean for. But Dean is not an inside guy. He's an outside guy. So now we're trying to change a guy's position. That is the key here. We're drafting good players, but not in the spots that they should be in or the spots that they're comfortable in. NFL GMs, I'm going to say this one more time. Stop trying to change the dynamics of these effing players every time you draft them. Let them. He said, "Is you is or is you ain't gonna give me a ride?" She said, "Is that you with the Lamborghini? Is that your car parked outside?" At the end of the day, is you is or is you ain't gonna give me a ride? Are you gonna give me a ride based on the talent that you have in the vehicle that you are currently supporting? Nakobe Dean is supporting the outside linebacker vehicle. Stop trying to make him an inside linebacker. That's not what he is. He's better at playing either the strong side and maybe a little weak side. He's not a middle linebacker. That's the reason why we're struggling right now in the middle of our defense. Because we have young. Huh?
Why did you shave your beard?
You know, I work in fast food, so try to be
bastards. Yeah,
that's what I said. They won't let me be great. That's what
MJ, go ahead. I know there's something you want to say about this.
To be bearded men, you know.
No, I mean, you know, it was just a beard thing. No, but I mean, we just kind of reaching this time in this area in which you have enough information and enough data to know who's who could use this, who could use that. But the thing about it is, you know, that a lot of people don't really like take into account in this is scheme is everything. You know, I think y'all said y'all needed a safety, but you know, the safety that you need is not like, you know, he growing on trees. You know what I mean? Do you have anybody that you can like build up into that? Do you have another scheme that you can hide with it? Like, you know, this is one of the things in which there is no real right or wrong answer unless you can answer it in the draft or free agency where you actually got time to be able to get it. How many like moves have been made in which it's like, oh, that's putting us over? Usually don't happen in the NFL, right?
No.
I mean, not in the mid-season. That happens in the off-season. So that's why.
And if it does happen, MJ, it's directly in the trenches. Yeah. There's not a lot of big trades that are going to go outside the trenches that make big effects. Like Von Miller was a big move for the Rams. That was a huge move for the Rams when they won the Super Bowl because it gave them another quick twitch edge rusher that you got to account for. And then they still even went and got a luxury receiver. So you're looking at a situation where they brought in 2 or 3 guys after the deadline and went to the big game. So I'm with you. It's just the problem is, again, too many chefs in the kitchen.
All right. We're going to get to these pick'ems. Anything you want to add, Vic, or we're going to get to these pick'ems?
No. I mean, you guys covered it well. I'm just waiting to talk about the Lions real quick whenever we get to that game.
Well, that's going to be a game that I might actually skip over it, or we might just do it as we go naturally. Let's just do it as we do naturally. That way, we could, there's not too many games because there's number one, there's a lot of teams on buys, and there's not too many matchups where we're gonna focus so much on just because we make it a nice little show, get out of here, everybody have time to do their thing before kickoff. Especially the 1 o'clock slots. Anyways, first game on the docket, you got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Chicago Bears. Over under is 38.5. Raiders are 2.5 point road favorites. Look, I think Chicago, we underestimated, or maybe at least I did, just how competitive they can be week in and week out. And they showed that last week versus Minnesota. And they showed that the week before, even though, it's an up and down team. It's a young team. It's a team with a quarterback who's really just trying to figure out what his role should be in the NFL. I also think the coaching staff is just not up to par for what you need in this league, what you need for a young, raw quarterback to grow and succeed. So that's why you don't hear me with the criticism of Justin Fields, not because of anything other than I don't think he's being put in a position to succeed week in and week out. As far as the Raiders are concerned, again, the Raiders, look, they got an identity. They have a game plan, and they know what they want to do. Do I think they're a great football team? No. Do I think they're a good football team? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. But what I do know is I think they're going to beat bad teams and be competitive against good teams. So I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be a battle. I think it will come down to the end. And if Justin Fields has the ball with 2 minutes left, at that point, forget what he can't do. With what he can do, he's going to be a threat. So it's going to be interesting how this game plays out. But I do think in the end, the Raiders will win. Give me the Raiders by a field goal. I'm going to go, 22-19.
Hold on, Mo. Just a quick update, though.
Yeah, Justin Fields ain't playing.
Both him and Jimmy are out. Both him
Wait,
and
what?
Jimmy again.
Yeah, this is the backup ball. This is the backup ball right here.
Yeah.
But no. Bo,
Take the under.
Thank you for doing this because you got
Take the under.
To introduce my new segment and my new AKA, which is Mr. SGP. Single game parlay, baby.
Yes,
So,
sir. Yes, sir.
If we gonna talk about a trash game, I'm gonna at least see if you can make some money off of it. So that's what I'm here for. So for the SGV, I'm gonna say take the under on the 38.5.
No doubt.
Away from picking wins and losses because that's too stressful, especially when teams are as trash as they are. I am going to say I never want to root for somebody's loss, so I always pick over when I can. So I'm going to say over for Josh Jacobs at 72. And I'm also going to say over for DJ Moore at 56.5 because he got to throw it to somebody. He has to. There's no way he's going to walk away in this game with 90 yards passing. Like, it's possible, but usually with plays like with games like this, they just go funny ways. So I say those three is a good look. And if you want to be froggy and go anytime touchdown, I'll go Jacoby Myers. That should get you a nice little, I'll say, $100 flip on the $10. In fact, let me tell you exactly what it'll give you. So y'all got me in my bag today. This is my appreciation to y'all for rocking with me. So if I have my phone, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just showing you what it is. Oh, I'm sorry. $10 pay $290 on that bet. Yeah.
Not bad. It's a good bet. I'm gonna write that down.
I might do it right now.
Jeremy, Vic, real quick on this game. We spent way too much time on this game for Fields and Jimmy not playing, but that same game parlay is more valuable than anything I freaking said.
Give me the Raiders now.
Yeah. Vic,
Just if Jordan Love is still on your waiver wire at this moment, and you got Justin Fields, go ahead and pick Jordan Love because he's got a sweet matchup against the Denver Broncos. But other than that, give me the Raiders just because they have a little bit more talent to work with right now.
Here's another good one. Bills at the Patriots. Over under 41.5. FanDuel is at 7.5. Some of these sports lines have it at 8.5. But nonetheless, for the Patriots, Riley Reif and Josh Hughes are out in this game. But however, Hunter Henry and Jabril Peppers will be playing. And then for the Bills, Ed Oliver is out, and so is Quentin Morris, their tight end. Listen, again, talk about good football teams and bad football teams. New England is a bad football team right now. Like, it's crazy because this is the year where you had the most optimism heading into it post Brady, and yet it might be the worst of it all. So it would be major if they can somehow pull off this divisional upset because it's a division game. But I just don't see how that's going to happen. You got a defense in shambles with so many injuries. Where are they going to get pressure from now? Where are they going to generate turnovers from now? And then on the offensive side, they have a hard time getting points. They have a hard time getting first downs. They have a hard time converting short situations. They have a hard time holding on to the football and not having self-inflicted wounds. This is a bad football team right now. I'm gonna take the Bills, whether it's 8.5 or 7.5. But the New England aura is gone. Like, it doesn't matter if they're at home or not. Give me the Bills. Germ,
Bills.
Vic.
Yeah, I mean, the Bills should be able to win this game, bro. Like, I'd be shocked if they even, again, just one of those games where just get out of this game healthy for the Bills.
MJ, I don't know if this next game might have a better same game parlay, but
no, I'm gonna do every game because I am honorable, and if I get it wrong, who gives a damn? Because everybody else is getting it wrong, so I got a better chance of getting it right than everybody else. So we go hard.
This is true,
and I'm smart when I do these things because I'm going to pick a bet that could happen, but if it don't happen, you're like, nah. So this bet that I just picked for this game, SGP. It's only a 3-bet slip. $10 will get you $140. Kendrick Bourne, anytime touchdown. I got Josh Allen with over 20.5 rushing yards. And I got Mac Jones with over 4.5 rushing yards. Why would I pick rushing yards for quarterbacks? Because this is a conference game in which they play. It's always going to be a defensive struggle. And these dudes are going to be trying to avoid the rush, in which I think it's going to turn into a lot of scrambles.
Fair.
I like it. That's again, it's interesting stuff. But and that's really like, see, I have two methods to the same game parlays. I'm either put in like 20 parlays together, or I'm trying to find like 2 or 3 weird ones. So I like that one. Next game, Falcons at Buccaneers. Over under 37.5. 2.5 points for the Atlanta Falcons. Listen, it's a division game. The Buccaneers, I believe, have lost 2 out of their last 3. Atlanta's lost 3 out of their last 4. I think both teams are 3-3. Simply put, for this game, right? If the quarterbacks play good, the team wins. If the quarterbacks play bad, the team loses. I think both these quarterbacks have this weird kind of Jekyll and Hyde type thing going on with them. But in the end, 1 second.
In the end, who cares? I don't. I know Mo really don't either.
No, what do you mean no? What do you mean no? This is going to be a great game. This game matters. This is a division game, so this game absolutely matters. I think the one thing I do want to say real quick, the Falcons, they do a good job of generating pressure. They got some guys that know how to get pressure on you, the Campbell and the Grady Jarrett's of the world. But for Baker, I kind of lost my train of thought on this game. But for Baker, the kid number 10, whose name is escaping me right now, that's their home run player. No offense to Mike Evans. Like, Mike Evans in the Baker Mayfield type of world is more of the big possessions. Let me just get a catch to somebody. But the kid number 10, this is the kid that you want to be your home run guy. And last week, Baker missed him twice on some key plays that could have changed this game totally. Totally would have flipped the game. Vic said, oh, my God, they only scored like 3 points. Yeah, well, had they made those 2 plays, that 3 points could have been 13, could have been 17. So chunk plays matter in the NFL. I'm gonna go Tampa. I like what Tampa is doing a little bit more than what Atlanta's doing week in and week out. And I think Tampa's worse is better than Atlanta's worst, and Tampa's best is better than Atlanta's best. So I'm gonna go Tampa. Jerm?
Can I just pick Tampa because I don't want to buy a big shot of jersey?
Yes. Now,
Vic?
So Trey Palmer is number 10. I see a little bit of is a rookie wide receiver. I think they got him in the 3rd round. Good player. But I like what Baker's been able to do. Last week they went up to Detroit, and Detroit kind of showed them you're not exactly elite level play or elite team in the NFC yet. They kind of handle the Bucks, but other than that, I mean, the Bucks have been playing well. Considering everything that's been going on for them. So I like the Bucks in this game. I don't think the Falcons have been able to run the ball like they want to with that two-headed monster, including their 1st-round pick, Bijan Robinson. They haven't exactly been able to establish the run. Probably it'll open it up if they're able to pass better, but we'll see what happens. I think in terms of this game, the Bucks should be able to handle this win.
SGP.
all right,
you
already
looking.
know it.
Oh, you looking.
So,
You looking.
okay, so this is no. I had it, but then I deleted it on some other stuff. So this is what I got right now. I got Riddler over on the rushing yards. I got Baker Mayfield throwing over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I also got Baker Mayfield over 221.5. I just changed Algiers rushing yards. I don't want the over on him based on what Vic just see. You see how we work as a team? I listened and I learned as well. I got Chris Godwin over 59.5. And last but not least, we're going to just leave it at that. I ain't going to get greedy. So $10 will get you 170 on that. So I'll repeat that bet again. Desmond Riddler over 9.5 rushing yards. Mike Evans with an anytime touchdown. Baker Mayfield will throw over, at least 2 touchdowns today. He also will throw over 221.5 yards. Reason being is Atlanta likes to blitz, and Baker is really good against the blitz. And I got Chris Godwin working the slots over 59.5. So again, $10 get you 170 on that one.
That Chris Godwin one is so risky, man, because it's like if Baker's on point, then yeah, that should be the guy that he goes to a lot. That should be the guy that gets the most of his targets. But it failed me last week, so I'm a little bitter. All right.
That's how it gets you. You
Yes.
think you got it, and then they fail you.
Yes.
Then the next week they go hit.
It's true. It's true. Which is the agony of playing this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, next game on the docket, you got the Detroit Lions at the Baltimore Ravens. By far, the game of the week for the 1 o'clock slot. The only reason it's not the game of the week, period, is because we got a couple of major heavyweight games. So we got to speed it up a little bit. Lions at the Ravens, over under is 43.5. Ravens -3. I'm going to keep this sweet. I'm going to keep this short. What I like about the Lions offense, right? The Lions offense has purpose. I always say if an offense has purpose to it, then it can be an effective offense. You cannot have an effective offense without having purpose. And so the Lions have purpose with their route schemes, their route designs, the timing in which they call plays. As we know, Vic, Jared Goff, there's plenty of criticism about him, but there's also a lot of really strong things that he has. He's got a strong arm. And as we've seen from his time in LA, from his time in college, his time even with Detroit, that off play action with a clean pocket, he can throw that ball between the hashes at 100 miles per hour on target. Like that thing can go on a line drive and it can get there. So we know that about Jared Goff. You give him play action, you give him time, he's going to be, and you give him space in the middle of the hashes. He's going to do what he does the best. The issue is you're going up against a team that has 2 middle linebackers that are absolutely outstanding. And to add to their outstanding play, you got Kyle Hamilton, who's the joker of this defense. They move him everywhere. They put him in the slot to blitz. They bring him down. They'll play cover 0 and have him cover their tight end. As far as their linebackers are concerned, because those are the 3 main players I want to focus on for the Ravens defense. As far as their linebackers are concerned, I've seen them play man coverage in the slot against wide receivers. That is a very rare thing to have. So for Baltimore, even though a lot of people could say this might be a bad matchup for Baltimore, on the flip side, I think this is a relatively bad matchup for Detroit. I think there's a lot of things that Baltimore can do to exploit what Detroit does well. Now, Baltimore is not going to blitz often, but what they do, pause. I said no more plumber jokes. What they do is blitz situationally. And when they do blitz the situations, they are extremely, extremely effective. So I am looking for a couple things in this game. Number one, Detroit has a very good way of doing fastball, changeup. What I mean by the changeup, whereas we are in October, is they have this play last week or the week before where they ran all their receivers on crossing routes to one side, right? And the entire defense flowed to that one side, but then they ran a screen on the opposite play with the running back. Mm-hmm. And when you look at the film, Vic, there was five blockers for Detroit against 3 players for the opposite team. That's a matchup that you take anytime. And they got a good chunk play out of it. So that's the first thing I'm looking for is, can they be patient and when they call their plays and how they call their plays? The second thing I'm looking for, Baltimore, when you do blitz, you got to make sure you get there. You cannot blitz and give Jared Goff 4 or 5 seconds to throw the football. So when you do blitz, make sure you get there. And then the last thing that I'm looking at, Lamar Jackson. This is a game that's primed to go one of 2 ways. He can get shut down or he can be explosive. If I see an effective game from Lamar, then we know that he is actually approaching getting over the hump. He's got a couple more humps because of how raw he was. But this is a big game for Lamar Jackson that he's got to be effective. He's got to be effective. We know he's going to be productive for the most part. We know he's going to get you fantasy points. Think about fantasy. It's about reality. We need it to be effective. Vic?
So, yeah, I mean, you started talking about Jared Goff and kind of some of the things that he was criticized for or what he was good at. You know, and in the beginning of his career, it was all about timing for him, right? 3-step, 5-step drops, quickly get the ball out. And, you know, the Lions kind of been doing the same thing. They got Amari St. Brown, who has been an outstanding receiver on the slot for him. But this year, man, he's looked a lot better. You know, I don't want to say he morphed into an elite quarterback at 29 years old, but he could be reaching his peak, you know, where he might take his game to another level. And so far, the Lions have been able to expose that, have been able to utilize him. One thing that has been great for them is the play action. Unfortunately, David Montgomery is out for this game, but their first-round pick, Jahmyr Gibbs, it's time for you to step up. And they said he's going to get a heavy workload this week. So that's going to be interesting to see. This is going to be the toughest test for Jared. You got the Ravens giving up 164 passing yards so far this season. So, again, it's going to be a tough matchup for him. But he's got all his weapons available today besides David Montgomery. So that's going to be fun to see if he's – this is going to be the game to see if he's really take it to another level, because if you look at their schedule, they played 6 games so far, Mo. The 3 toughest games that I was able to, pull out for the next 11 games is the Cowboys. I think it was the Cowboys. The Eagles are not on that schedule, but they do have the Cowboys, and it looks like they're playing the NFC South and the AFC West. So the Cowboys and the Chiefs, I think, are the next toughest schedule for them. Other than that, this is a team that got a chance to win 12 games this year. You know, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the Lions can do starting today against a very tough Ravens football team. As far as the Ravens side, again, you know, Lamar, another tough defense for him. He has been outstanding between the hash marks. They like to go to a slot fade a lot in certain situations, especially 3rd down and short situations, kind of catch the defense sleeping. So let's see how Dan Campbell and the Lions defensive coaches adjust to that, and see if they make Lamar kind of make more throws outside the numbers as opposed to inside the numbers. So that's going to be interesting to see from me as well. But fun game. I'm gonna pick the Lions in this game, but I think it's gonna be a defensive game. I wouldn't be shocked if it's like 21-17 type of thing between these teams right now, because I think the defenses are gonna be strong this week.
Term.
I mean, just to be honest, Detroit has played Baltimore pretty tough the last couple of times. So they have some pieces there that actually work pretty well against what Baltimore is doing. The difference is it's got to be how Lamar throws the ball to the outside guys. Obviously, you might say, oh, that's cliche, but that's pretty much what it's going to come down to. Outside the number of completions, who's going to make the biggest plays? I'm actually going to roll with Detroit today.
So I think Jerm froze a little bit.
No, I'm here.
Oh.
So this thing changed on me like 5 different times. So because this is a hot game to bet on. I actually don't think y'all should bet on it, but if you are, I'm going to deliver because I promised myself I will deliver all games to you. I got over 50. I got the over 52.5 Lamar Jackson rushing yards. I got the over 43.5 total. I think styles make matchups, so I don't think it's going to be a defensive struggle. I just think guys are going to make plays. I got Lamar Jackson, anytime touchdown scorer. I think he's going to run one in today. I got Khalif Raymond over 21.5, and I got Jared Goff, who has not missed yet on the over at 243.5, which has changed, by the way, 4 times since you guys been talking. So you might want to put that in. And if you put it in at $10, you get $140.
There's no Justin Tucker parlay, because that's what I'm looking at.
They are not going to do that.
They should. Anyways, my score is actually going to be 14. No, that's a little too low. I'm gonna go 19-17 Baltimore. That's what I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 19-17 Baltimore. Go ahead, Vic.
No, real quick correction. They already played the Chiefs and won. So the 3 tough games that I see on their schedule is starting with the Ravens, Chargers, and Cowboys. But I mean, again, the Lions have a chance to really establish themselves as a solid NFC contender. Even, I mean, should I say even as far as the Super Bowl? Because I mean, Jared has been there.
Jared has been there. I mean,
NFC is not exactly, you know, I mean, you have the 49ers, obviously, and the Cowboys and Eagles, but I mean, those are the 4 teams they can compete with.
You know, I know most NFL, not most, I know a lot of NFL fans say, oh, it could be anybody's year. That's not always the case. Like, it's just not. The reality is it's just not. It's not a cool, it could be anybody this year. It's just not. This is not. Especially when you got a gatekeeper over the last 23 years, you know, with Manning, Brady, Breeze, Ben, Rodgers, Flacco. I'm just playing. But for real. Anyways, this is one of those years where it could be anybody's year. Like this, we legitimately have a it's any given. What's the term? It's any given Sunday. Like more than ever. You know what I mean? There's just, I don't want to say it's parity, but I would say the gap between 1 and 32 has significantly been reduced in as far as, you know, the gap. Anyways, let's go rapid fire for these next couple of games because we got 2 more games we want to talk about. Washington at New York. Quite simply, I'm thinking Washington. I can't believe I'm saying this. I think they're a better football team. I think they're a better football team, and I think they have more structure. Yes, the Commanders. They're a better football team, and they have more structure. Should I Ron Rivera? Give me Washington. Vic?
I was checking the injury report. If I'm not mistaken, I think was it David? Oh my God, the quarterback.
Yeah, Daniel Jones is out.
Yeah,
and so is Andrew Thomas.
Yep.
And I think Evan Neal should be good to go. But I do know that Andrew Thomas and Daniel Jones are out. I actually have it somewhere, but that's the update there.
Yeah, and the center, I think the center as well, and Matt Pert, who is their swing tackle, is also questionable. So, I mean, the Giants' offensive line has been bad for years, and with
Oh,
injury,
Evan Neal is out. I'm sorry, Jern. I'm sorry, Vic. Evan Neal and Adoree Jackson are all out.
wow. So, I mean, those pass rushers that we are talking about are on the block should have a field day today against the Giants. So, I mean, yeah, definitely give me the Commanders in this game.
Really
Sure.
quick.
Oh, yeah.
No, you got
Commanders.
Go ahead, MJ.
I'm going to go over 37. Washington Commanders with the -3 points. Sam Howell goes over 229.5 passing yards, also over 1.5 passing touchdowns, and over 14.5 rushing yards.
From a bet strictly money lines perspective, MJ, over under is 36.5. Are you betting on it or are you staying away from it?
I'm leaving that alone.
Yes, sir. Browns at Colts. Go ahead, Vic.
Is there defenses on the betting?
Yeah,
yeah.
It's not facts or anything. It's just like if they might score a touchdown or whatever. You know, anytime touchdown wouldn't be a bad bet for this one because you get a lot of money if you do guess that.
If we have time after the show, we'll screen share, Vic, and we'll show you some of the stuff. You said what, Jerm?
I'm just gonna go with the Browns. I think if you are the Colts right now, you want to do what you need to do to secure yourself another top pick, more draft capital as much as possible so you can continue to build because you're a couple players away from being right back where you need to be. So give me the Browns.
Vic?
I'm doing this for you, Andy.
Listen, that Browns defense has been special this season. Holding offenses, I think, is at 199 yards combined so far averaged. I think Indy might give the Browns offense a little bit of trouble as well. So this might be a low-scoring game, but I think the Browns just been too good defensively, enough to give that offense, some put up some points on the board and win this game. I mean, again, they have to show in the AFC that they're contenders.
Yeah. Listen, so the over-under is 40.5, right? And the Browns are 3.5 points road favorites. Obviously, with Deshaun Watson playing, my mind has changed. But coming into this game, I was really looking at a Colts upset. But with Deshaun Watson in the game now, I think he's going to be able to just give him a little more points. So give me the Browns 21-17, Cleveland. MJ?
I will take over Gardner Minshew on passing touchdowns because it's 0.5. Come on, he can throw one, right? Give me over on Gardner Minshew rushing yards at 6.5. I'm actually taking the under total, and that'll get me about $70. That's all I see on this one.
Yeah,
they don't John Watson on here.
I like the under because I think my score was 21-17, so that's 38. So
yeah.
Cardinals at the Seahawks. Again, quite simply, I'm taking the Seahawks. Jerm? Yeah, got you. I got you. Vic?
Seahawks.
MJ over under 44.5. Cardinals 9.5 points underdogs. Your thoughts?
I am leaving those points alone. Conference game, anything could happen, and I don't trust Geno Smith that much.
Yeah, man, these division games, these huge monies, these huge spreads, they're scary.
Yeah. If anything, I'll pick the Arizona Cardinals on the spread, and I also will pick the over on this one. And just for S&Gs, I'll pick anytime touchdown scorer to be Joshua Dobbs.
Steelers at Rams. This game is going to be a lot of fun to watch. I'm going to be locked in because I am going to be interested in seeing a couple of things. Number one, I'm curious to see if Aaron Donald, he's been having a quote-unquote down year. But that's just because we're so used to him being uberly dominant. But I'm curious to see what Mike Tomlin, specifically his game plan will be to block the hometown kid, even though it's in LA. Two, I'm very curious to see how Matt Stafford and this offense will play against this defense because this Rams offense feels like any week they're gonna figure out exactly how to move, how to click. They're gonna figure out exactly how to call plays, when to call the plays, who to run the routes, what route schemes to combine. So I think it's only a matter of time. And Pittsburgh challenges you to be like, yo, you got to be good. You got to be perfect with your offense against this defense. So that's going to be a chess match between McVay and the Steelers defense that I am going to be locked in for 60 minutes. And last but not least, Vic, your boy Williams is out. He's on injured reserve, going to miss at least 4 games. So my curiosity here from both sides is, will either team be effective in running the football? Whichever team is more effective in running the football, I think will ultimately win this game. Hate to do it to you, Pittsburgh, because I love this defense, but I'm going with the Rams by about 6 points in this game. Vic?
I'm going to be honest with you, man. I think the loss of Kyron for this game, and they also lost their second string running back, who was also a fantastic player. His name is just escaping me right now. They're going to rely on Darrell Henderson, who has some experience in this offense, but I just don't like the player's talent. I think that the Pittsburgh's defense is going to come out to play today. I think Pittsburgh is going to give the Rams a hard time and give their offense enough of defensive power to help them win this game. So I'm picking the Steelers to win this game. I'm going for the upset here.
Okay. I think the one thing about Darrell Henderson, what it does is Pittsburgh knows they're not going to have to worry about the run game being sideline to sideline. So that's going to be on Sean McVay to get creative and figure out how to get this defense moving sideline to sideline.
Rosano, yeah.
Yep. Germ?
I'm actually going to go ahead and pick the Rams. Pass rush wise, I think the Rams should be able to get home a little bit more today than usual. And I think this is the Aaron Donald statement game right here against his hometown team. Give me the Rams.
Rams running back is injured, so for that reason, I'm getting the Steelers spread of 3.5 that I'm picking. I'm also going to go ahead and pick the under. The only thing that I am going to do that doesn't really line up with what I just picked, that's going to get you some money if it does hit. It's a slim chance, but that's what we gamble for. And that is George Pickens going over the receiving yards of 49.5. Pickett is the type of guy that's just like, George is down there somewhere and just throw it, so he's going to get the targets. And I'm also going to say Cooper Kupp is going to get 90.5 as well, because Matt Stafford, just like Pickett, they love who they like. They love who they love. $10 will get you 130 on that.
That's very nice. Well, you said it'll get you how much?
$10 will give you 130 bucks.
130. Yeah.
I can't get no more thorough than this. I'm telling you how much it is. Now, if it changes on you, that ain't my fault.
Because it's always changing. This is true. Okay, sorry. Next game, you got the Broncos at the Packers. Packers at the Broncos. Over under 44. Only 1.5 points towards the road team Packers, or favorites rather, I should say. I don't know how to say this, man. This game does not intrigue me. It'll only intrigue me if Denver comes out and plays well. So give me the Packers. Vic?
I'm gonna go with the Packers as well. I think they'll just be able to, coming off a bye. I think Jordan Love will kind of catch up on some things that he made mistakes last week with the 3 interceptions. I think this is a great defense for them to go up against and kind of pick up because they got some young talent I like. So I think the Packers should be able to win this game.
Germ?
Packers, you need this game. That's where you have to remember, divisional range. You got to stay close to the lines as best you can.
MJ, any thoughts on this game?
Of course, I made a promise to you guys that I was going to give you game on every game, so here I am, whether I like it or not. So, 5 picks. I got over Jordan Love, 229.5. I got over 54.5 Aaron Jones rushing yards. He's nice and rested, and Denver is not really a good defensive team. Also got the over on 19.5 Aaron Jones receiving yards because the head coach likes using him out of the backfield. I got over 51.5 on Christian Watson. And last but not least, I got Green Bay winning with a -1 spread.
How you putting $10 on that?
If you put $10 on it, you get 140.
Okay. Next game on the docket. 2 more games to go. Try to be out of here by noon. Chargers at the Chiefs. Over/under is 47.5. Chargers are 5.5-point underdogs, which to me is like just scary enough to make me want to stay away from that. I think the over. I think we're bound to get the over in this game. Anytime the over is less than 50, and you got Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes, you're gonna take the over. But that 5.5 is scary enough for me. Both teams are scoring a lot of points. Both teams are pretty damn good in the red zone. Believe it or not, Vic, the Chargers are actually better in the red zone from an efficiency standpoint than the Kansas City Chiefs are. There's a moment that has to happen where we say Justin Herbert can compete against Patrick Mahomes. You know, it's not about just beating them. They gotta compete. We gotta see something that's come January, if they play, we have some sort of confidence that Justin Herbert can possibly win this game. But the problem, Vic, like I said last week for the Cowboys, I'm not going to give the Cowboys flowers for being a team that cannot #finish. And KC knows how to win football games. So off the strength of that alone, until I see otherwise, give me Kansas City. It's gonna be. We know what we're gonna see in this game. I'm gonna go 34-28 KC.
The thing is here. So here's the human element of a little bit of some facts.
Yes.
You got the Chargers who played on Monday night, so they're on a little bit of a shorter week, and you got the Chiefs coming off a Thursday night game, so they had 10 days rest. Then you have the Chargers giving up about 290 passing yards. The last, I think it was 4 to 5 weeks. And Pat is not having the greatest season so far, but this is that game where you'd be like, since they always beat on the AFC West, like an abusive type of beat, this is that game where, like, if you need Pat to get you 350 for your fantasy team, this might be it. I don't know what receivers might get the most of those yards there. I like Rashee Rice, their wicked wide receiver. That kid looks outstanding. So, I mean, hey, bold prediction. Let's see Rashee Rice get over 100 yards today. Because I just think that the Chargers are just not going to have enough defensively, considering the short week that they're on, and Pat having 10 days of rest, for this game. So give me the Chiefs to win this game, and I wouldn't be surprised as well, Mo. They win by like a touchdown or 2.
This is my overboard game of the week. Get it overboard, because I'm picking over on a lot of stuff. Give me over for the 48 total. Give me over for 280.5 Pat Mahomes passing yards. Give me over on 265.5 Justin Herbert passing yards. Give me over on 1.5 Justin Herbert passing touchdowns. Give me over 78.5 Keenan Allen receiving yards. Give me over 25.5 Pat Mahomes rushing yards. Give me over Kansas City Chiefs total points at 26.5. And give me over LA Chargers 20.5 total points. And if you put $10 there, you get 200.
Wow. I'm going to have to get into this, man.
Very nice.
Like I said, it's gambling. So,
very nice.
But it's very calculated what I'm doing.
Do they have something for Rashee Rice?
I left him alone.
I'll take Rashee Rice over 100.
Let's go 2-minute drill on this last game. I don't know where Germ is at. Let's go 2-minute drill on this last game. Germ, oh my God, Chargers Chiefs. Anything you want to talk about? Chargers Chiefs.
No, not really. We just hope that we get the key word for the Chargers in this game is finish. They have yet to finish Kansas City off. They get them on the ropes, then they don't finish. Give me Kansas City again until the Chargers show they can beat them.
Okay. Last game of the day. Last game on the docket, and sure enough, it deserves to be the main event of the day. You got the Miami Dolphins at the Philadelphia Eagles. There's a lot of talk in this game. There's a lot of hype about this game. Because we're in the 2-minute drill, I'm going to keep it quick. Number one, you got the two best rushing offenses in the league. Okay? Everybody talks about their passing. You have the two best rushing offenses in the league. Philadelphia runs at a greater volume. Miami runs with more explosiveness as far as their running game is concerned. Now, when both teams pass, they're effective. They're effective because they pass in chunks. They're not looking to slice and dice. They're not looking for death by 1,000 cuts. They're looking for hook, hook, hook. Okay? They might throw a jab here and there, but for the most part, it's hooks and uppercuts from both these teams in terms of their passing game. This is very, very much an environment where you have something similar to the Rams and Chiefs from a few years ago. However, I'm going to bring it down a little bit because I think this is going to be one of those games that we look up, if we're on the DC especially, and be like, damn, how are we in the fourth quarter already? Because I think this is going to be a fast moving game. I think number one, both these teams are going to play mistake-free football. Number two, I think both these teams are going to run effectively, and keep the clock moving. So while I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, I don't think it's going to be as high-scoring as people expected because of the way these teams are going to want to come out and run the football. Why do they want to run the football? Because it is the best way to neutralize the opposing offenses. Believe it or not, I can't even believe I'm doing this because all week I was confident in who I was going to pick. But for some reason, maybe it's because I finally shaved my head again. Some little wind came over and I'm going to grab that wind. And I'm going Miami to win this football game. Give me the Dolphins 27-24 in a really good mistake-free environment. Jaron, go ahead, because I know you want to say something.
I honestly picked the Dolphins too. I really feel like this is a matchup that doesn't favor Philly as much as a lot of matchups that they have. And this is the one matchup that I circled and said they're going to struggle against this team defensively. Give me the Dolphins.
Okay. Vic?
I'm just concerned for that Philly interior on the defense, man. I think the Dolphins just have, first of all, they have a strong interior offensive line, and then the running backs have been outstanding. They are missing the rookie David Ashane, or was it David? I think Deron Ashane, something like that. Kid has been outstanding, but so has Raheem Mostert, and they get Jerry Wilson Jr. back today. So they're still gonna have a 1-2 combo. That's going to definitely help Tua out. And again, that Philly interior is looking rough this year. This is a team that's always been good in the interior, especially with Fletcher Cox, and they just have been exposed this year. So it's a tough matchup at Philly. And like you said, it's going to be a run. It might be a run-heavy game for both teams. It's going to be a lot of speed in this game. I'm going to have to go with the Dolphins. Definitely, yeah. I'm going to have to go with the Dolphins beating the Eagles at home. And I'm not 100% confident. Obviously, it's football, but Miami should be able to kind of show the league how tough they are against the NFC as well.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead, MJ, because there's something I want to say about the betting side, but I'm going to let you go first.
yeah, man, I got 6 picks, 10 to get you 190. I got the over DeAndre Swift at 62.5 rushing yards. I got the over on AJ Brown, 80.5. I got the over on Tyreek Hill, 98.5. I got Raheem Mostert scoring the touchdown, whether it's pass or run. I do not care. He's going to score one. I got the over on Tua going 278.5. I think their offense, the way it's set up, for him to get the numbers. And I got the over on the 24.5 of Miami Dolphins team total points. Reason behind it is because beginning of this illustrious episode, you guys say they can't guard the middle. So if you can't guard the middle and you have to focus on the middle, that means you're going to leave the seams open. And if you leave the seams open with the fastest, best receiver in the league, guess what's about to happen? And then if you focus on both of those, that means you got to be damn near in prevent. And if you're damn near in prevent, you hand the ball off to Raheem. What you think he's going to do?
They are struggling up the middle, man. The run game plus the horizontal routes like the drags, the over routes, all the mesh concepts that the Dolphins like to run for Tua might expose that Philly defense.
Again, there's two sides of this, right, MJ? There's the lab side, and there's two sides of this from the lab side. You know what I mean? Like you could look at a game objectively and still have no idea what's going to happen. As much as I think they should come out and run. Bro, with the way Philly opens up that has that space in the middle of their defense, I could be completely wrong. And Miami scores 51 points tonight. You know? So, but I again, for some reason, not about 10 minutes ago, it was like, you know what? I'm going to pick Miami. I had Philly all week, not confidently. But maybe the reason I'm picking Miami so confidently is because that voice in the back of my head says, Miami got to pull this upset tonight. And I think it would be. I think it would be an upset. I really do, because Philly is that team that everybody knows Philly is legit. But there are still a lot of doubt about Miami, whether they're contenders, whether they're posers, how they're going to play as the season progresses. Are they going to actually win a game in January? Like Philly has been to the big dance twice now in the last 5 years. You know what I mean? But so for Miami, it's a prove it type of game, and Tua's going to take it to them. So I'm interested. My score was 27-24, which ironically falls 1.5 point under the over-under. Anyways, it's going to be a fun game, man. It's going to be a really, really fun game. Shout out to the fellas. This was a great show. We might have to do 10:30 more often. Maybe because with 10:30, we know we're not against, because it's 12:05. So had we started at a regular time, it'd be 1:05 right now. It'd be kickoff, the whole nine. So we might do the 10:30, 11 o'clock thing more often, but we'll have to discuss that. Shout out to the Same Game Parlay. Shout out to you, Germ, Vic. Most importantly, though, shout out to the comment section, man. I mean, I am scrolling through the comment section. There are so many comments in here. Jaquan's in there, KG, Bruce. I know Bruce is excited for tonight. Bruce, you should be. Bruce has probably been the most loyal Dolphins fans that I know. And I know a lot of them. I live down there. So I know a lot of them. All right, Bruce has probably been the most loyal, frustrated fan of them all for Miami. So I know he's excited for tonight. Big shot in there as always. Dennis, Trav, April. Good to see you again, April. You were never shunned from the petty streets, April. So it's good to have you back. KG, Big Shot, Tanya, Cat 5 Storms in there. Vic in 2 places at once. Carlton in there. I think that's Victor in there. And, of course, the Godfather, who is the one that kicked us off this morning. So I appreciate everybody in the comment section. Wish we would have had more time to read y'all comments, but I did read some of them, and some of them were fantastic. Some great questions indeed as well. Any closing thoughts before we take us home, True?
Yeah, big shout out to that NyQuil FC when he talks about the New England Patriots.
Yes.
NyQuil FC is crazy.
NyQuil FC is disrespectful.
Bro.
Big shout.
I need feedback from Mr. SGP. That was the pilot.
Yes. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna do some more. That's gonna be part of the show now. Germ, close us out,
Nothing
baby.
really,
Last
man.
words, and then take us home.
Nothing really to say, man. Just enjoy the games. Make sure you guys are paying attention to some of the parlays. But most importantly, man, if y'all win some money, y'all owe us $1. 22.
Royalties, baby.